Hey, what's up everyone, my name is Thijs and welcome to DualWielded. This is part 13 of my devlog series. In this one, I'll basically remake a lot of visuals for my game Incaved. A game taking place in an ever-expanding Russian cave system where civilians took shelter after nukes were dropped during a fictional Cold War. So last devlog, I worked on combat stuff, but most importantly I worked on a dodge roll. Which worked perfectly fine, but you guys absolutely despised how it looked, alright? The comments were full of people saying they thought it looked stupid, except one. But thank you for commenting something else, thank you so much. And the first thing I wanted to do is remake the dodging animation. So the rolling probably needed some more feedback and weight to it, but there was also the option to maybe change it to a dodge sliding or a quick scurry or something. So I thought, hey, let's try that out and see if those work. I made a sliding animation and after that a scurry animation, and that's when it hit me. There's been a huge problem I've been ignoring this entire time. The rigging and the visuals of the main character are not great. Just as a reminder, when I remove the cloth of the shoulders, the character looks too much towards us instead of in front of him. The arms and legs are too short in comparison to the absolute chunky square body. He can't bend over because his neck, chest, torso, pants, it's all one block. Just saying, when he reaches his right arm forward, it won't even get past his belly. So, really, I have to redesign the main character. Now, don't worry, the character will be the same. The proportions, posture and pieces of clothing just need an update though. So I opened a Photoshop file with Monkey for scaling purposes and started redrawing the character. I didn't look at the original character as a reference, but I looked at the version I used for my banner. I feel like that's the true version of the character without any outdated pixel art or weird proportions. And I think the clothing in general just looks a lot better. So we had this mask, which seemed okay, but an updated version looked a bit better. Now after yeeting some pixels on there, it's done. And I know. Some of you might feel that the other character was better. But please remember that you're also used to the other character now. If I do a side-by-side comparison, most people would just say the new version looks better. I asked some people on Discord, just to be sure. I myself already preferred the new one, but who knows. The results show. It seems pretty clear to me. Everyone preferred the new design except for Andrew. He absolutely hated it. But between you and me, I don't really value his opinion. Generally, everyone that had some kind of feeling that the original one was better or even had any doubt between the two was someone who had watched all of my previous devlogs about it and got attached to the character. Everyone who hasn't even been in contact with my devlogs before and didn't even know about the existence of the character had an easy choice picking the new one. After making the legs a bit longer and the coat a bit shorter, this is officially the new character sprite. Now all that's really left to do is make the same animations the original character has and... So yeah, this took an entire week. Well, BAM! New walking animation, yo, but guess what? Yo, now he's running, but falling. What? Let me tell you, deaf baby, what? 50,000 keyframes used to live here. Now there's fucking 70,000. So remaking all the animations was very time consuming, but I feel like they're pretty smooth now. The new character now has movable hands, feet and can bend their back. By the way, as you can see, I removed the pickaxe from the player's backpack. It didn't make much sense to be there in the first place because a pickaxe was going to be added as a weapon later anyways, and it gave people the impression that the game is about mining, but it's not. It's about exploring.
Creeper man.
I might replace it with something else though. If you can think of anything that would be cool, make sure to leave a comment. Now that the new character is implemented and fully functioning, I kind of want to try something. I want to combine pixel art with a realistic atmosphere. Seems like it would make for a super cool style. Let me show you the game that has the best art style I've ever seen and will ever see in any video game. The Last Night. Basically everything that's a solid physical object or living being is made with beautiful pixel art. And everything else, anything sky, water, light, particle and sound related, is hyper realistic. Making it the only game whose art captured me more than the art for Hagrid of Harry Potter for PS1.
Getting ready for Quidditch, are you?
He's a nasty piece of work. Just ignore him.
You better get going.
I'm trying to emulate that style. Using realistic lighting and particles. It won't be as good, of course. Though the fire looks pretty cool as it is now, I wanted to try and see if I could make it much more realistic. And I did. Insanely happy with how this looks. I used a tutorial I linked in the description to learn more about the particle system. Later on I used that same knowledge to also create realistic smoke. And all by myself. I know. It's such a... After the massive success of the new fire, I added a barrel used as a fireplace. Pretty neat stuff, and yes, it is a little rad, but don't worry, it's not explosive, alright?
In 2077, what makes someone a criminal?
Now that I have smoke particles, I can use them to also upgrade the dust particles when walking, sprinting, and smacking your hammer. There's now also random spots that drop dust from the ceiling. Very neat detail, I have to say. It took a lot of fiddling to get it right, but thanks to the knowledge I gained from making the fire, I managed alright, I'd say. Also, the caves are more dusty in general, which adds a lot to the art style I'm trying to create. And now that that's all happened, the new particles are a thing, the new player is a thing, it's time to move on to improving animation. So something I also made sure to finally do is separate the body and arm animations. As you might know, I already basically created 3 different weapons, but I've been holding this hammer this entire time. It's because for basically every weapon I need different animations. Like before I was holding the hammer in one hand, which is really weird. And it was that way because that's how all of the weapons could technically work using the same running animation. But separating the arms from the rest of the body makes sure that when I'm holding a hammer, the arms are animated like this. And when I'm holding nothing, the arms are animated like this, etc. So it'll be easier to add several weapons later on this way. Plus, holding a hammer looks more like, you know, holding an actual giant sledgehammer right now. Also, of course, I made a new dodge roll animation to fit the changes made to the character. And I think it looks a lot better. It's less floaty, it's more heavy looking, and I'm happy with how it looks now. I also changed the attacks themselves. The first ones were okay, but the combo made no sense at all. Or, well, the final attack in the combo made no sense. It had less range than the other attacks, and it just made no sense that completing a combo rewarded you with this final epic mega attack. So instead, I changed up the combo to be more logical. The first attack looks a little less intense in comparison to the original characters. The second is pretty much the same thing, but for the final attack, that's when my dude is really going to... Since it's now also possible to walk around without holding a weapon, I will probably add unarmed combat later. For now, I'm kind of done with animating. And well boys, that's it for this devlog. It took a while to make this one, but I think you can probably guess why. Also, please remember that I'm a full-time uni student, so I really don't have a lot of spare time to work on Incaved. I do want to thank you a lot and welcome all the new comrades. When I uploaded the last devlog, I was getting close to 1k subs. Now I'm at the point where I'm not even going to mention the sub count, since I'll probably have to correct myself while editing this anyways. YouTube definitely niced me for some reason, but hey, I'm not complaining at all. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. If you enjoyed it, please help a brother out and drop a like. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and make sure to yeet yourself over to my Discord server, which is full of community events, comrades, memes. We're almost finished with watching Avatar: The Last Airbender in voice chat. We come together every weekend in voice chat to just watch it together and have a good time. And after finishing the series, we'll probably get to watching movies with the boys every weekend. Sounds fun? No? Aight. Goodbye.
My dad's boss!